All right. I think everything is working like it should. I got to think about this now. All right. There we go. Now we got her on that. Give it a little bit. I got nobody in yet. That'll do the trick. Got that on the silent but violet. Hey, Moose Chan, Mose Chan. Good afternoon to you. I had to do a little different this time. I had to make them both blue, and I made dots. So I got dots on both of the bottles as well. So when I start doing this, I want to not look at the screen. So either way, I kind of got like, because I can't see, I didn't dawn on me till I see the screen. So what I'll do, oh, can you hear me fine, guys? What I can do though is I can cover up that screen there. And what that allows me to do is see the chat without seeing the screen. That's pretty simple. Sounds good? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you very much. So anyway, they're both unopened. And we'll just talk about them for a minute, see some other people come along. They're both unopened, and I bought this one. These always run about $22 a Rittenhouse, 22, somewhere in that range. You can find it on sale sometimes for around 20. Sometimes it's other places it's 24 to 26, but on average, we do get the Rittenhouse around here for $22. And the Old Overholt, the bondage kind of new. I mean, it's last year, so it's been around. And then I picked this one up, and I'd always kind of put off buying. I bought this one first, and I think I only gave $19.99 for it, if I remember right, which is $20. So it's about, the Rittenhouse is a couple of dollars more. And I did go ahead and buy the Old Overholt regular the other day, and it was on sale for like $12.50 or something like that in this on sale rack. So I thought, well, I get that, and now I can compare the two of these later. But they're both unopened, and you know, when I did the bottle and bond, I'm still going to try to do some more of those as it goes along with the bourbons. But those mostly are all opened, and so it's hard. I find myself spending more time trying to guess which one's which, and you know, try to be objective and examine it. There's too much going on. Now I know these are both going to be neck pours, and we're going to see some difference. So, I mean, I'm not I expect them to change a little bit after they oxidize a little bit. Some whiskeys, you know, and that's only I only find that the case with an aged whiskey. So, I mean, I can't say that because I've had some young whiskeys do the same thing, but maybe only 70% of the time does oxidation provide any change within that first 2-3 months. And sometimes it does. I mean, just like that Glengarry, both the Glengarry 12 and the Glengarry I just did, they both changed very well. That particular, I got it right, yeah. That particular whiskey does need time in the bottle. I mean, it needs, and it just improves with it. So the Rittenhouse, I think it's just a screw top too, but I think you got to get to it somehow, some way. There we go. Be smarter than the. There we go. Yep. And it's just a screw top too. Now, when I go into this, though, my bias with ryes is usually ryes, I either love them or I hate them. And very few do I love to the point that I'm going to go crazy about. Now, what I do, you know, I used to, when I was somewhat younger, I preferred a higher rye mash bill. Gotten older, I find I like a little lower rye mash bill, but I still prefer a rye mash bill to a wheated. Not that I don't mind wheated, I just do. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Who all do we got? We got Pressman and Most Chun, Whiskey Straight, Al, and that looks like all we got for right now. Four Roses doesn't do it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. You know, I was in a store down on the border, a UEIC or whatever it is. You can't buy there unless you cross the border. And I couldn't cross the border. We'll just put it that way. I could, but I couldn't because I was carrying a firearm, so I couldn't cross the border. You get over there with it, I have no place to put it. So anyway, but I walked in there just to see what they had at the duty-free store. And they actually had a Jack Daniel's bottled in bond, and I thought that was interesting. I've never had seen or heard of that before. So, but anyway, I digress. It was pretty fun down there. Pour Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. That's a good pour, press man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Pretty good. See, we early for a draft. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get it started, guys. I got to do some spinning and do this. We can get this rolling. Oh, I want to go this way this time because that's just the way my fingers hit. Now I have blocked the screen itself. I can see the chat when I take this off, but outside of that, I don't know. So we'll just do this for a few seconds with my little carousel, or Susan thinks the proper. Mom always referred to it, so did my wife, as that. But we will get a good understanding of where we're going with both of these bottles. Normally I would leave the cap off the bottle, but because I can pick up on the nose, I don't want that interfering and then jading my judgment on it. So we're going to leave the caps on because I like to let my whiskey air just a little bit. Don't hurt. Leave cap off for 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes. I very rarely leave it off more than 30 minutes. So I think I've mixed it up enough now. So let's see where we're at. We'll set them off to the side. We'll take the carousel, put that over here on the floor upside down. We'll let the eyes adjust. Get those back out there. She keeps that thing in the freezer, and it takes my eyes a minute to thaw out. Because this eye is not. This eye is polycarbonate. So when it gets cold, it stays cold for a minute. Okay. So, and not like it both, the color on both of them just about the same. There's not much difference in the color. Not much at all. Mm. I get rye bread, marbled, got white and dark marbled rye bread on this one. Big time. It's just waiting for some sauerkraut and corned beef. A little Thousand Island. Touch of the alcohol. A little touch of sweet dill. There's some dill there, but it's a sweet dill. And there's a little bit of oak from the barrel on this one. The mash bill on either one of these, I have absolutely no idea. I didn't look it up. We both know they're 4 years. They're both bottled and bond, so we're getting basically the same product. 100 proof, at least 4 years in a government controlled facility. In fact, it says bottled and bond in accordance with the U.S. government. Old Overholt Bond is a product of a distillery and one distiller in a single season, barreled for at least 4 years and bottled and exactly 100 proof. And basically, Rittenhouse Rye says the same thing. Rittenhouse straight rye whiskey, storied Pennsylvania style rye, whose heritage commemorates Philadelphia's famous Rittenhouse Square. Still bottled and bond under U.S. government supervision to meet the strictest requirements. The Rittenhouse you enjoy today carries forth the distinct and spicy flavor profile of not long ago. And this is a Heaven Hill, says so on the back. Distilled and bottled Heaven Hill Distilleries. And I'm going to, no, this is a Claremont, Kentucky. So Claremont and Frankfurt, I believe that's Jim Beam. I may be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. But this is a Claremont, Kentucky, and I think and I believe that is Jim Beam, but I may be wrong about that. I'm trying to think. I'm getting them confused now. Anyway, so two very different distilleries. We're not dealing with the same distilleries at all. And it's still maintaining that rye bread character. Very yeasty, marbled rye bread. That's very, I note that right off. We're looking for initial notes, what's it hitting us with? Much lighter nose than this one. Much lighter. It still brings forth that spicy rye. But it is a much lighter character, much lighter on the nose. Anything, this has more of a yeast note. And that's a hard note to describe. You hear, the yeast that Jim Beam, Wild Turkey, they use very distinctive yeast strains that really come through a lot of times in the alcohol they make. And this one's bringing forth that distinct, very distinct strain. It gives you a lot more yeasty note. This is rye bread that's undercooked when it comes out of the oven. Very yeasty. Sweet. This one's got more caramel on it. I think it's There's more of a mintiness too in this, I think, to my palate than this one has. And I think it's because the lightness allows some of the more subtle flavors to kind of come forward, where this one's really being dominated. This one's allowing a few more flavors to kind of come to the forefront because it's a lot more subtle. It's got a heavy funk on it, heavy yeast. Again, I've never had either one of these before, so I'm not going to be able to sit here and go, that's this one or this one's that one. I'm not going to be able to do that at all. This is merely just impressions, first solid impressions of which one appeals. On the nose, I like the subtle nose on this one better than I do this one. I like the bold flavors on this one that come through, but it's just, this one has a little more going on in the nose, and it's a lot more subtle in the delivery. Actually, this one this one smells a little bit more alcohol. It's got a little more wood coming through than this one does. This one has more of the mint, the yeast, the rye, soft, doughy bread that's really coming through very well on this one. What have I missed on this? Who else do we got in here today? Hey, My Bourbon Journey, nice to see you in. Danny, nice to see you in. Santa Cruz's here. All right. Got a few more guys in today. All right. Let me see if I can do this. I can scroll up just a little bit. Show that one. I don't know why it asked me to show or hide. Crown Royal. Oh, that Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye I did not like, Danny. I've got to be real honest. It just is not. It was way overhyped for what it was. Just on the nose, both of these much better than that was. I can tell you right now. All right, we'll start with. Let me go get a little glass of water, guys. Give me just a second because I wasn't thinking. I don't need glass. I got a bottle right here. Keep my palate honest. Start with it. Good old Kroger water. Lord knows where it was, what city water source it comes from. Cincinnati, Ohio. Guess it's Cincinnati. It's Ohio water. All right. Let's get a start with this one. Sweetness comes through well on this one, on the palate. Still getting that rye bread. That sweetness on the side of the tongue. That's caramel all the way. That's very nice mouthfeel too. Very good mouth coating with this one. Very good sweetness development. The oak is there. There's still the dill, and that sweet dill, that's still going on. This palate, the nose and the palate are really in sync on this one. Because now, and you get the sweet dill there really on the back of the finish. We're finished now. I'm going to say a medium, short to medium finish on it. Not a very long finish. Medium. We'll just say a solid medium finish on it. And it's still there. It's still lingering right now. But it's a very subtle lingering note. This is actually pretty good stuff. It's a lot better than that pinhook stuff. That caramel in here, that is really working great. with the rye. I mean, it's not bringing you a whole lot of notes. I mean, you're not getting this broad spectrum of everything, but you're getting that rye and you're getting that caramel. That caramel, the rye's on the tip toward the sides, and then that caramel top and the back. It's really working well. In all fairness to the pinhook, which I'm bringing up, I shouldn't have, but I did the other day in the backyard. That's only a 2-year-old rye. And I'm telling you, it's just not, I mean, both of these bottles are $12, $15 cheaper at least. And this bottle, whichever one it is already 5 points, 6 points better than that. No doubt. Hey, Ron. Nice to see you in here. You get that Old Overholt Bonder. We'll do a review on that too. Now let's try this one here. This was more subtle. I'm going to say if this isn't 100% right, it should be close to that. Sometimes they mix a 5% barley on some of it, or a little corn. I don't know if this is, I don't think they're either one of these. I don't know they're mash bills. But the subtleness in this one makes me think there's probably a little more involvement from other grains than this one has. This one has much less caramel. The mint is really, really dominant in this one. Less wood flavor, but it's there. It's especially there in the finish. The rye note doesn't really hit you as up front as this one does. You still get that yeasty character to it. I want to take another sip of water and try it again. Going in on the nose, I think I would have preferred this one. Going in on the palate, this one, that caramel is just wonderful in this one. There's still that yeasty note in this one, though. It's very pervasive. This right here has more of a bourbon delivery. And I know that sounds awkward to say that, but it's more like the characteristics you get on a bourbon coming through in this one than this one. I mean, both are rye bourbon. I mean, but I get more barrel interaction. There's less caramel. There's plenty of sweetness in this one too, but it's a lot less caramel. It's probably more almost a refined sugar note to it. It's just an overall general sweetness. It's not that cooked caramel, cooked brown sugar, molasses, what you make caramel with. All right. Overall, they're actually both good. They're very distinct. They're very different. They're very different, and I prefer this one because I like that caramel hitting me than I do this one. The finish on this one is a little longer than this one. It's a little bit more complex. You have more interaction with the wood, that mint, that yeast note in there. That's kind of combining to make that all go very well together. The wood is very dialed back. It's not so bold as it is in this one, but it's still there, and you notice it, but it's not dominating in any way, shape, or form. And you just get a very good, even rye note with it. It's whereas this one is a very, very more intense rye note coming across. This is a lot more subtle. It's still there, and don't think it's not. I mean, we're comparing two ryes. So when I say more subtle, it's still there. It's still a dominant flavor, what we're getting here. It's not nearly as potent as this one, if that makes any sense. Anyway, my pick is this one. I like this one better. I don't know which one it is. So I'm going to finish it off, and then we're going to do the reveal and see what we got. That caramel and that wood, this is very tasty stuff. And it's pink. It's the Rittenhouse. That's the Old Overholt. Rittenhouse is doing a heck of a product, guys. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I am very impressed. Well, the Rittenhouse is the winner. Impressed, man. So, hey, Oklahoma kid, nice to see you in. Every review scares me about Press, man. That was just I've seen some positive reviews about it. They got a bourbon out now, but just based on my experience, they need to age it more. Whatever they're doing needs more age. I know they're probably getting it from Indiana, if I remember right. It's just, and Indiana makes a great product. I mean, they've made some great products. I mean, some really good whiskeys we've had have come out of Indiana. I mean, I need to get another bottle of George Dickel Rye. That's a good one, too. I really like it as well. It's probably the first real rye I ever tried that I really said, this is pretty good stuff. But that pinhook, you just got to you got to approach that with a bit of caution. And it's going to appeal to some people. I'm not going to lie. There's some people that's going to really like it. And it's really well because it's going to give you, once you combine it with like a Coke or whatever you're going to do with the rye. I'm not a bartender. I'm not a mixologist or whatever they want to call them now. I've never been one. I mixed a little bourbon and Coke when I was younger. But anyway, it's just one of those ones you really want to try first. And if it really appeals to your palate, then yes, it's a good deal. It's just not for me. This is so much more subtle. This Old Overholt, if you were looking for more subtle flavors, the Old Overholt's going to do you. If you're looking for more bold flavors, the Rittenhouse is going to do you. And I'm going to tell you, the Rittenhouse, I'm not going to score them. I'm going to do an official review before I do any scores. I'm going to spend some time, let them open up in the bottle, see if there's any changes. But I can tell you, just off the neck pour, the Rittenhouse is going to score at least 2 points higher than the Old Overholt. I'm going to give it a 2-point increase. So, and I'm not sure what I'm going to settle on this yet, but this is a minimum 85, and I'm sure it's probably going to go up. I'm thinking maybe I'm not going to. We'll just start with 85 is a good opening. I'm like Scott. Scott's got a lot of the Scotch test dummies. Everything's at 85 to start with, and then you just bounce it around either way from there. And I understand that a lot. I probably score a little more, or I don't score nearly as high as they do. But it's still that kind of, it's a good baseline. So anyway, let's finish this one too, because this one's good. This one's good. I tell you what, it's worth the $20. They're $19, $19.99, $20. It's worth that to me. Where are we at? Rittenhouse is great stuff. Yes, it is. Okay, well, I might have to get the Rittenhouse too. You do that, Ron. You do that. You need to pull the trigger on Rittenhouse for a Heaven Hill product. Yes, Rittenhouse is a Heaven Hill. Says right there. Heaven Hill Distillers Incorporated, Louisville, Kentucky, DSPKY1, Bardstown, Kentucky, DSPKY 31. Huh. It's got two different DSPKYs on the back. Bardstown and Louisville. Doesn't really say where it comes from. That's interesting. You would think they would only have one DS because it comes from one distillery. I mean, that's odd. Because bonded is the product of one distillery and one distiller in a single season, barreled at least 4 years and bottled at exactly 100 proof. So one distillery, that is odd. Distilled and bottled by Heaven Hill Distillers Incorporated, Louisville, Kentucky, DSPKY1. That's the number of the distillers, distillery number 1. Then that's the Louisville one. The Bardstown, Kentucky is DSPKY 31. So maybe it could come from either one, but you would think they would say up front which one it was distilled at. I mean, that's rather odd. I didn't catch that at first. It doesn't even say so on here. Huh. Anyway. It's much more subtle in the delivery. It's much, much more subtle in the delivery. It's good. It's really good. Really, this is worth the money too. They're both worth the money. But I'm here to tell you. We'll take that off. It don't matter now. I can see. That's distracting. Price difference $22 for this one, $20 for this one. I've heard of people getting this for like $18.99, and I've seen this for up to $26. But usually you can find it if you're patient. And I know prices are going up everywhere, but when I bought this, I bought it for $21.99, $22. Everything's 99. Might as well round it up a penny. It's $22 for this one and $20 for this one. What's the price difference for me here in Kansas at the time of purchase? This was purchased approximately a year ago. This was purchased January. I think I purchased it in January. So there's probably a year difference between purchase times on both of them. That's just because I caught them on sale. You know, it's the right buy at the right time. And it's funny when you walk into a liquor store how that develops. You know, every once in a while I go in there with something on my mind, something intentional of what I intend to purchase. And I look for those things, and if they're not there, then I say, what's available that I would be interested in for what price? And I walk out of 8, 9 out of 10 liquor stores, and I never purchase anything anymore. You know, you get a lot of weird looks. If it's a liquor store where I've got a very good rapport with the attendant and stuff, or the attendant and stuff. With the attendant and the staff, I often buy a beer. I buy a nice stout or something along those lines. Just to keep the level of communication open and the friendliness going. Because I like a good beer. But I don't buy from every liquor store, and I visit a lot of liquor stores where I walk in and walk out, and you get a lot of strange looks from people. You just do. They're like, man, we never had nobody leave and not buy nothing. Well, we never have had somebody walk in that has as much. I did some counting on some money the other day on what I got down there. That's frightening. That is frightening how much I've spent. I mean, but it's neither here nor there. It's all for good use. Guys, I don't know about next week. I have a job coming up, but it got slid till next Monday. If it got slid till next Monday, then I probably won't be out till Wednesday, so Tuesday. But there's a chance they could start it tomorrow too, which in that case, I wouldn't be available next week. So I'll try. I've kind of figured out where I was going wrong on putting these out. So the day of the review, I'll go ahead and post it if you see it come up. I had posted it wrong initially on here, and then I figured out what I did wrong, and then I've corrected it. And now I think I've got it down to a pattern. So hopefully I'll do it. I don't know what I'll do next week yet. I may go back and do a couple of bonded and bond bourbons. I'm kind of hesitant. I could do maybe Heaven Hill against Jim Beam. Heaven Hill, not Heaven Hill. Evan Williams against Jim Beam. Or I could do the J.W. Den against Jim Beam. Because those I have reviews on. And I'm kind of hesitant not to do the review yet. Because I just bought the Barton Bottled and Bond when I was down in Texas. And I haven't opened it and tried it yet. And I've got a bottle of Old Granddad that I haven't tried yet. And I'm not going to put the single barrel Colonel E.H. Taylor. That's ridiculous, the price. I mean, it's ridiculous, the flavor differences. I mean, these are good, but it is a definitive step above. I mean, I haven't had the Old Granddad or the Old Barton yet, or even the Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, which I'm really hesitant about opening. But I just don't see them competing on the same level as that. Oh, wait a minute. I also got the shoot fire. I showed it last I won. It's a single barrel bottled and bond to 10-year-old. I can't think of the name of it. I could do that. Are you on rigs or pipeline? I'm a geologist on a rig. That's what I do. I love a good stout. I don't know, bourbon stout. That is BS. I don't get that, Danny. You might be responding to somebody else. I'm not sure. Sorry, not sure if you reside in the status across the pond. DJ Megan. Down south at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Wow. I got my good friend's daughter's about to get married in North Carolina in May. I'm probably going to be down that way when she does. Stay safe in the oil field. Oh, I'm the geologist. I don't do nothing. I'm the one who goes, let's do this, that. I'm not out there shoving pipe in you. I haven't done that since mid-90s. So I'm not going to be a problem for me. Colonel is a collector's item in Oklahoma, all of them. Really? Because I just came through Oklahoma. I bought something I was in Oklahoma City. I bought two things. I went 2 different liquor stores. I bought another Oh, it was a Scotch. It completed my collection, the Evolution. I can't think of the name of the. They got the Revival, the Torfa, and the Revolution. And the name of the escapes me right now. It's not Glengassa. Yeah, it's Glengassa, I think. So I completed those three for me. Someday I need to start on those three. And then I also bought something called Nomad. And it's actually a Spanish. It starts off, it's distilled in Scotland. They use, I think it's 8 or 10 years. It's barreled in Scotland. Then it's sent from Scotland to Spain, where it's put. It goes from Pedro Jimenez cask to the other one, or vice versa. I can't remember. I can't remember it all. I looked it up once and I've slept since then. But it's really a unique. It's not a Scotch. Can't be labeled a Scotch at all because of what it goes through. But it's a good dang whiskey. I mean, I was surprised by it. Never heard of it before. Pretty bottle sitting on the shelf, and it was actually up in Edmond where I bought that one. Hate Scotch? I'm sorry. I like it all. Unfortunately, I don't like it all, but I like Scotch and bourbons. For so many years, you do bourbons, and sooner or later you'll come around. Just all there's to it. KU or University of Kentucky? What? I ain't no KU or University of Kentucky. I graduated from Wichita State University, but I was born and raised by an Oklahoma guy, and I am a Sooner, always will be. When I was a kid and the Sooners were on TV, my dad comes from Locust Grove, Oklahoma. And when I was a kid and the Sooners were on TV playing football, you parked your Behonkus right in front of that screen. So let me tell you something. Daddy didn't want to be chasing down no kids in the middle of a football game. So you spend a few years watching nothing but Sooners, you become a Sooner fan. I'm a Sooner fan to the bone. But now, where WSU is concerned, I'm still a shocker. It's my alma mater. I like what I said, mater. It's my alma mater. But the Shocks don't have a football team, so the Sooners fill in quite well. Not to mention that my dad has 12 brothers and sisters that are Hendrickses. So I got quite an extensive family. I'm related to most of Mays County. Amen, Boomer Sooner. Sooner born, sooner bred, sooner dead, sooner bled. You bleed red, don't you? I know all of it. Then I got aunts that are Oklahoma State fans, so we consider them kind of the weirdos. If they're watching this or they watch it on a replay, I want to hear about it. All right. I just picked up 2 more bottles. I'm not sure. I think you're talking about ECBP. And I was down, and the actual A119 went up in price to $69.99 down there in Oklahoma City. I only seen 1 bottle. So no more $50 bottles out of Oklahoma. That's all come to an end, I think. Alma mater. Wichita State for me. University of Kansas. I just don't understand that. After 89, what happened in 89 with the I'm just going to let it all go. I've not got over it yet because I took too much crap at work that day for that. A lot of crap. I mean, I got to hand it back later. All right, guys. We're still talking about ECBP, and there's nothing wrong with talking about that. That's good stuff. You'd be floating ECBP. My dad's geologist used to pull samples and say, "Smell of money." Yeah, sometimes it's a smell of money. Sometimes it smells like money, and after you run that test, it's not what it seems to be. You know, I've pulled samples and I've had oil flowing all through the sample, tested it. No perm, tighter than a tick. Don't get nothing out of it. I've had samples come up, I've looked at, I've got one little piece of rock oozing out just a little bit of oil. Test it. Pull 2,000 foot oil on a test. There ain't no rhyme or reason. You just test it all. Up here in Kansas, you don't test down in Oklahoma as much. They don't anymore anyway, I don't think. Kansas, we still do a lot of testing. Southern Nebraska, where I do some wells up there too as well. Watch wells up there. We test all the zones because sometimes a really good show washes out. Sometimes it don't. Sometimes it smells like money and it gives you 1,000 foot of free oil and you're going, whoa, where did this come from? So there ain't no rhyme or reason sometimes. It's the fun of it, though. It's the true fun of it. Prue zone. Well, now your zones down there are different. I don't know what you mean by Prue zone. That's not something I'm familiar with. You know, I've not had the Jim Beam repeal batch yet. I've not had that one yet. I need to get it and try it. Taste of money. I've never tasted it. No. No, I'll not be tasting my samples. They might have a stronger constitution than I do. That's for dang sure. Kearney near Newark. I guess it's Kearney, Nebraska. I was born up in Hackensack. I think that's New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey, yeah, Hackensack. Buying and saving several bottles of the repeal batch. You know, I got a bottle for you guys that are interested, if you're really interested in it. I got a bottle of, I'm not sure I want to open that yet. I'm teasing to it, but I'm still kind of up in the air about it. I've opened the damn box on it. I'll think about it on the next one. Tell you what we'll do. The next live stream I do, guys, you know, if you guys want me to stay bourbon and rye oriented, that's fine. I don't mind. I can do either way. If you guys are interested, I still do. I'd like to try to do a couple of scotches. I don't mind doing that at all. I enjoy scotch. Enjoy it a lot. I've kind of graduated, I guess. Is that the correct word to good scotches? I mean, I still like good bourbons. I love a good bourbon. I mean, I always will. But I got a Glenfarclas 102. It's a 51. It's a distillery select. And I thought about I almost did that tonight on the live stream. I gave that some consideration just because it is really a nice one. It's a pretty rare find, and I've only came across it at one place. Not a huge Glenfiddich fan, honestly, across the board. I like Glenfiddich, but it's just average to me for most everything. I got a small sample of Glenfiddich. Got one of the 200 mils of Glenfiddich 18 downstairs. I need to try. I could do that. And I might try doing that. If it works out next week, I'll do that. And I'll even do it one better. I'll do a short, if if I'm not called out on my job, I'll do even one better. What we'll do is I'll do a review of it. We'll just plan on that for now, Glenfiddich 102. And I will do a giveaway. I'll do a sample giveaway of it. So any of you guys that are interested in a scotch, and a not so common scotch, let's just plan on that. Now, if I'm called out, it might be the week after, so be aware of that. If it's not next week, and like I said, I'll announce it ahead of time. But let's plan on doing the Glenfiddich 102. I think I think it will be a good one to do. I might try to team it up against something or do something of that nature, because I like this. I like this versus one versus the other, but I'm going to have to find something in my collection that's kind of similar. And off the top of my head, that's kind of tough because it's a bourbon and sherry matured scotch. So we got to find something that's going to kind of follow that line of development. It'll give me time to do it. Give me time to do a little research for you guys. So anyway, well, guys, I probably need to cap this off. We've been on the air since 5:30, so it's 5:20. So we've been on the air for 51 minutes right now. Oh, and this, the Glenfiddich 102 actually only cost me, I'm thinking after tax, it was around 60 to 65 bucks. It's a 15-year too. It's kind of unique. They still had a couple left up there at that store, but that's been a few months ago. They may not have any by now. I've been trying to find the Glenfarclas, not Glenfarclas, Glenrothes Kansas cask. I'd seen two in a store about a month ago or less, and I went back there for another guy, and they were both gone, and I was surprised. So anyway, it's DJ. Yeah, Robert, let's go back up and catch up on a few before we call her quits this evening. My sister is a teacher at Hackensack. The appeal batch is 14 to 15. It's about $18.99 here, roughly. $14.99, $14.88 in Okie Land. I didn't really pay attention. Test Larceny. I've already done a review of Larceny, and that bottle's long gone. Larceny is a decent pour. It's not one of my favorite pours. It's one of those that I can see why people like, because it does get a lot of good reviews. And I see what people like, and I can't find a whole lot of fault in it. It just doesn't personally overly appeal to my palate, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm probably not going to repurchase it. You can go back and watch my video on it and maybe get a better understanding. But my son was with me when we did that video. And I think that was back in October when I did that. October or November, maybe late September. I don't remember exactly. But no, I'm not going to buy another Larceny to do it. I'd rather spend that money elsewhere. I'm sorry, guys. Really like Larceny wheat bourbon. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not a bad bourbon. And it kind of has a lot of barrel characteristic that goes along with it. That's pretty interesting. But overall, it's just not up my alley, you know. 3 bottles. Oh yeah, 3 bottles of Glendronach. You know, I almost bought a Glendronach, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not. A Glendronach cast strength in Oklahoma, and I should have bought the damn thing. But I have X amount of dollars to spend, and I wanted to get what I got instead. I should have bought it though. It was kind of a little overpriced, but I think the prices have went up. That's why I didn't buy it, but I probably should have spent the money anyway. I like Glendronach. Glendronach's a good one. It really is. I have a bottle of Peat Monster open for a while. Peat Monster, I have to be honest, I've never had Peat Monster. In fact, I finished a Lafroy last night. Last night I finished my Lost Bloom, my Compass Box Lost Bloom. About 2 nights ago, I think it was, I finished a Lafroy 10 that's been dwelling for some time. And the reason the Lafroy 10 dwells so much is the cask strength for just $10, $12 more on average on purchase price, $15 even, is such a better purchase than that Lafroy 10. I just can't see myself repurchasing that thing. Now the cask strength Lafroys, though, those are dynamite. Those are just dynamite. I've 6 and 7. Those are the last 2 I had, and I've actually bought, I think it was 2 6s. I did the 6, I did the 7, come back and bought another 6. And I've only got that one bottle of unopened 6 left in it, and that was a good one. I really like it. Sazerac Rye. I've not had that one, but I think some of that Sazerac Rye, I might be wrong about that. I'm not going to say. I don't know that much about the Sazerac Rye, honestly. Glenfarclas 12. Glenfarclas 12 is a good one. Glenfarclas 12 for the price, and you usually used to get it for around 50 to 52 bucks for a 12-year-old. It's just a shade or two under the Macallan 12, honestly, in flavor. And I'm just talking a shade under. It's giving you everything that Macallan is, but it's not. The Macallan has a little better finish than the Glenfarclas, but through the initial palate, the initial burst, I think pretty much to my palate, they're hand in hand. It's just the finish. The Macallan carries just a little bit further. They're both dynamite. They're both good. They're both worth the money. I've never, ever, a lot of people say a lot of negative things, especially Swami, where Macallan's concerned. That I like my Macallan. It's honestly, for sherry Scotch, it's up there as far as flavor. I've never had a Mortlock. I've got a Dalmore 15 I haven't opened, but I hear wonky things about Dalmore. But I've got it, and I should open it and try it. But Glenfarclas is probably, to me, sherry-wise, the closest competitor to Macallan. Now, that comes with the caveat of Abelauer. The Abelauer Abuna, however you want to say that, Abuna, that is the one, to my palate, that, and Glendronach. Okay, I'm skipping Glendronach there. I've had Glendronach, that cask strength, batch 5. That stuff is dynamite. I mean, it's pure dynamite. It is awesome. The Abuna is not quite in that, but that Abuna. Now, the double cask Abelauer 12, I drank that bottle. I didn't even do a review on it. I mean, it's just, and that's been 2 or 3 years ago. I have no intent of repurchasing it. It's so, I'm going to say a word that's not necessarily true, but it's so bland to my palate as far as what I expected it versus what was delivered. So outside of that and the Abuna, and there was one other Abelauer. I've got 3 Abunas downstairs. I've had another Abelauer, and I don't know, I think it was Casigum. It's got a weird name. I seen it. I just seen another bottle of it. It's fairly new release. I just seen another bottle of it when I was in Denver at the Total Wine and More, but I didn't care for the bottle I had. And I mean, it was good, but it wasn't great. I wasn't about to repurchase the test on that. Those are only 3 Abelauers I've had. I've never had the 16. I can't say much about that. Anyway, we really went off track here, and I've really talked for quite long enough. Rittenhouse wins, guys. Old Overholt comes second. They're both good. They're both an 85 or above as far as flavor profiles go. They're definitely for the price as long as they stay in that $20, give or take a couple of dollar range. Definitely a solid purchase. This one is the better one of the two, and it really surprised me. And this is just off neck pours. I mean, the chance for development as it goes along is even more positive. So anyway, I need to sign off here. It's been 1 hour exactly. We've been going on long enough. So I'm going to sign off like I always do. Remember, the spirit in your glass ain't running from you. Take your time, sip and enjoy it. You'll be better for it, as will we all, because we all need to remember moderation. And that's been a key of my thinking lately, because I've kind of I'm digressing. We know what I mean. All right, guys. Everyone have a good evening. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, and I hopefully see you next Tuesday. The job doesn't call out too soon. See you then. Ooh, can I figure out how to do this?